Dragon Ball The Breakers, or as we like to call it, Ball Breakers, because let's just be real, they didn't think that name through when they came out with it. But I get it, it's supposed to be the breakers, the time breakers. We all get sucked in, we fight Cell, and then we just live that purgatory forever. Imagine that being your life, or just nonstop you getting sucked into this vortex where you have to fight against Cell for eternity. That sucks. I mean, I guess at some point over, you know, a course of eternity, you'll get better at it and survive, you know, in the long run. But it doesn't sound like it'd be a fun time to live in that time loop of a hell. Anyways, beside the point, the Breakers beta just took place this past weekend, and I kind of want to sit down and talk about this. Now, for perspective, I played only the first session, and I played the entire 4 hours worth. I have 2 videos on the channel, one of me playing the Cell, and one of me playing as the Survivor. So you want to go check that out, I guess I will leave the link in the description below, and if I forget, just go back to the channel a couple days ago. But also, if you want, well, not if you want, I guess I will also have gameplay in the background every now and then. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video down. Point is I just kind of want to sit down and talk about overall thoughts of the game, because I feel like there's a lot of potential. The game has a lot of potential. Most important question before I get into anything, did I have fun? Absolutely. In the beginning, when I first sat down to play, I will admit it was very, very overwhelming. There's a lot to do in the game, and I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, because if you think about all the other games that exist in this exact same realm, like Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, they don't really have that many mechanics. I mean, they do, but they don't, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of hop in, you get the objectives done, and then you survive and you escape and you're good to go. This game has a lot going on. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things where as you play, you realize having more options is not, you know, a terrible choice, but it can be overwhelming at first. Because I remember when you first came in, it's like you can collect the Dragon Balls. You're supposed to get, you know, the keys to unlock the time machine in the beginning, or not the beginning, but in the middle. Then if that gets destroyed, there's other time machines. There's also the mechanic of transforming to a spirit to fight, you know, Cell, but you can't beat him. Then there's like becoming go. There's a lot going on. But again, it's one of those things where if you play the game for, you know, like a week or so, or even like a couple hours, you get used to it immediately. You know, for us in the 4-hour session that we played, we got used to the game pretty fast. And after like 2 games, I want to say we knew what exactly we were doing. So I guess it's not the worst. Now, as far as the gameplay, I will admit it is one of the most jankiest Dragon Ball games I've ever played. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it doesn't take away from the fun, but it does feel weird. Like flying, whether you're flying as Cell or you're flying around as one of the spirit characters, it feels really clunky and weird. Like, and it's kind of funny to say that because, like, if you look at how Xenoverse is, flying around in the Xenoverse game doesn't feel unnatural. It feels kind of smooth. Whereas in this game, it's like they just threw it out the window, and I don't know what happened with the design. I feel like someone just took this is probably exactly what happened, but I feel like someone just took the Dragon Ball Xenoverse assets and just made this game on the side. Was like, hey boss, you want to release this? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Now again, not a bad thing. I have told you in the past, I'm a fan when I do games that are in a different kind of genres. Because let's be real, we already have Xenoverse, we already have Fighters, we already have Kakarot even as an RPG game. We have all these games under the Dragon Ball umbrella that fit basically these different genres. So instead of doing the same game every single year that at one point we're gonna get tired of, doing different games that like really expand under the Dragon Ball umbrella is a dope idea. I would love to see a Dragon Ball mobile one day. I would love to see a Dragon Ball kart racer, as weird as it sounds, or even a Mario Party style game. Again, ridiculous, but it would be fun. A Dragon Ball VR, kind of questionable, but you know what I mean? The point is if they keep doing different kind of games that kind of give us a different experience, I think it's an absolute W in the long run, just because, like, again, playing the same game over the course of decades will get boring, you know? I mean, granted, that's a long time, but imagine if every single year for the past 15 years, we only got Budokai 1 through, like, 9. We would not be enjoying the game as much as we would. I mean, subjectively, we might, but you know what I mean. I don't want to fall into the Call of Duty syndrome is basically what I'm talking about. And with Breakers, what they're doing by doing, like, a different survival style game is dope to me. Especially considering the fact that we're living basically a game where we live through the attacks of Cell, where we live through the attacks of Frieza and Boo and whatever other bad guy they have planned in the future of the game. This is what has me excited about the game, is you can tell that they're really planning to do a lot of stuff in the long run. They even, like if you pause the game during the beta, you decided to have a Dragon Ball Pass. It didn't say what it was, but you could tell that they're kind of looking into going this like service style game where over the course of the future, they're going to release a bunch of stuff from like cosmetics to just different characters and bad guys. And I think that's dope. There's a lot of potential in that. And the game is a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you right now, as I'm sitting down to record this, I was just watching my gameplay. I'm actually kind of feeling to play it. Not by myself, definitely a friend game. And this is a whole nother debate by itself, because when you say a game is only fun with friends, does it make it a good game? Not really. But that doesn't mean that Friday the 13th isn't fun. That doesn't mean that Dead by Daylight isn't fun. That doesn't mean you can sit down in this game and not enjoy it by yourself. You absolutely can. You know, for example, if I was to hop into Breakers when it officially comes out and I just want to play as the bad guy, whether it be Cell, Boo, Frieza, I might have a good time, you know? Because I'll be real with you, playing as Cell, the only one time I did in the entire session was kind of boring to me, but only because what we usually tend to do is we mute. Something that would make this game absolutely A1 is proxy chat. I'm definitely going to get this game on PC solely for the fact that I'm sure someone's going to make a mod that allows proxy chat to exist. I want to turn into a vase as the survivor and hear my friends get absolutely slaughtered by Cell in the background because they'll be hilarious. Hearing Cell, his little voice, it's not Cell's voice, his little raspy voice, taking out my friends as they're screaming for help will be hilarious. That game needs proxy. So when I played a Cell in utter silence, because what we tend to do is deafen because we don't hear the plans, wasn't as exciting. Now playing a Cell was kind of dope because it does give you like the power of being a bad guy and you're facing up against the helpless humans of the Dragon Ball universe. And by the way, also I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Cell is pretty unbalanced. It's so hard for the survivors to win. Now I will say in a 4-hour session that we played, we did win a handful of times. You know, you can win by either escaping in the middle of the time machine, or if that gets destroyed, what you could do is you can also hop into those emergency time machines and escape with your friends. I did not escape on those yet. The only time that I personally won was when we got the time machine in the middle, and I will say it's very challenging. And again, this is a beta. It's very important to say that this is a beta, but it's also at the same time important to understand that with how Bandai does these games, they don't tend to really change that much as far as like small balances and stuff like that. So if they can balance out Cell where he's not as, or I guess the Raiders in this case, to be not as busted as they are, is definitely a must. Because I feel like a lot of people over the weekend, the biggest complaint I saw is they didn't know how to beat Cell. And I don't know if people had like lobbies with their friends or not, or they were just queuing them random. I don't know how it was, but it's definitely a game where you have to cooperate. For example, if you're not talking to your survivor teams, and this is why proxy is very, very important, it's very hard to, like, you know, win. For example, there's a situation where we had like 7 Dragon Balls. I had 6 on me, and then the random that was in our party had 1, and he just would not drop it. And then I even dropped the balls in front of him, and he never picked them up. I'm like, bro, we have to communicate. So communication-wise, there really isn't a way to talk to each other unless you're on a Discord call, or I guess a party chat. On like PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever. Because again, we play on Steam. This was a Steam-based beta, and again, that's something that they really need to like look into is developing either proxy or have a better way to communicate amongst the players. This is not a game again that you want to just hop in and play at complete random by yourself. I feel like you wouldn't really enjoy it. Good news is we do know this is not gonna be a full price game. This game is either going to be free or just absolutely dirt cheap. Because again, they're probably going for the whole battle pass style monetization option where, you know, they're just trying to basically get you to buy cosmetics, and that's perfectly fine. In a perfect world, I think they already said that they do plan on selling this game for cheap. In a perfect world, what they should do is just release the game for free, like Fortnite, for example, or Warzone, and just focus on the monetization options on, you know, cosmetics. Because let's be real, if they start dropping skins, because we like to customize our characters, you start dropping skins, we're going to pay for it. Not everybody, but we're definitely going to pay for it. And having a battle pass on top of that you can subscribe to as well is the future of games like this. They shouldn't really sell this. Now, good news is we do know this is not going to be a $60 game. We don't know how much it is. I would say if we were to pay $20 should be the max because of how clunky and janky it is. And then, you know, focus on monetize yourself, your game in the future through like battle pass and cosmetic options, because again, end of the day, they are a business. But that's something I kind of want to toss out there. But again, it is a very, very clunky game. It's kind of confusing. There's a lot to do. There is just very, very little ways that the survivors can win if you're on your own. But as a team, you definitely can jump. I mean, we had a situation, even the gameplay scene in the background, where we did manage to beat, you know, Cell by just ganging up on Cell and getting the time machine in the middle basically charged up in time. Then again, I guess the other player could have easily just popped down and just destroyed the time machine as well. But it was a brand new experience, okay? We're all basically learning. And I'm sure by the time the game drops, you know, a week into it, someone's going to find all the crazy metas, which will make the game kind of crazy. Like, I will admit, is when we get to the point where people know how to perfectly optimize playing as the Raiders or the survivors, it could be a detriment to the game in the long run. So I hope that they figure out how to perfectly balance that, because otherwise, logging into the game every single time and getting just one shot by Cell would not be a fun experience. But good news is, this is a beta, and with games like this that they've played on basically updating throughout the future, there is going to be changes. When this game drops, it will be an absolute hot mess. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a mess. The servers won't work. There's going to be crazy balance issues. it's just not going to be as fun. But the second you queue in with your friends, that's when you're going to have a good time. Because again, going back to what I was saying earlier, if a game is only fun with friends, is it a good game? It's objective. Again, there's people that enjoy playing Friday the 13th by themselves. There's people that enjoy playing Dead by Daylight by themselves. There's going to be people that will enjoy playing Ball Breakers by themselves when it drops. But for me personally, like I said, the thing for me that just really sells it is, you know, working together as your friends, you know? And after playing as both sides, both Cell and Survivors, I gotta admit, playing with friends is way more fun because you get to basically suffer and succeed together, and just being able to partner up and just kind of tag team this villain that's so powerful in the drama universe is dope. And I want to see more of it. It's a very, very enjoyable game. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, so comment section below, let me know your thoughts. I know not a lot of you got a chance to play because it was only on Steam and it was a closed beta, but I know a lot of you got started gameplay. I've been reading the comments this past week and a lot of people don't really believe. Let me not say not a lot of people. There was a good amount of people, because usually, you know, the loudest ones or the loud minority basically will always gather around something. There were a decent amount of people who were pretty upset that a game like this even coming out, and they just want to find reasons to knock it. But I guarantee you, once you get in this game with your friends and you kind of like figure out how to play, it is very, very enjoyable. It is a lot of fun. And again, if you never play games like Friday or Dead by Daylight, I highly recommend them because they're very, very fun. Again, you need to have a party. If you queue in by yourself, you might not enjoy it. But then again, you never know. You might be the #1 Cell player on Earth when this game comes out, or Boo player, or Frieza player. And I just want to see where it's going to go. But there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential in not just this game, but the expansion of the Dragon Ball genre in other genres. Again, I would not be opposed if they do a Dragon Ball MOBA or a party game like Mario Party or something like that, or even something as silly as Mario Kart or Dragon Ball Kart Racers. It could be enjoyable. Like, as long as they're not like super, you know, janky and just like a hot mess, there's a lot of potential in these games to be fun. Now, unfortunately, Bandai is known for really expanding into these genres that well in the beginning. They're experimenting. For a company that's been basically putting out the same Dragon Ball game for the past like 20 years, them doing something new is either going to be absolutely fire and hot or a hot mess. So even they have to experiment to figure out how to get it right. But the good news is, as long as they keep balancing and then listening to how the community is consuming these games and know how to really tap into what we want, there is a potential for the future in a bunch of genres out there. So yeah. Anyway, so I think I pretty much got everything out of the way. Again, the one thing I just did not like in the beginning at all was the movement. It felt very, very janky. I liked at first I like how floaty it was as you're jumping around the Survivors, but I learned to like it. It's fun to kind of just run around and just hop and then not have fall damage and stuff like that. That's very enjoyable, which is also funny with me because, you know, me and fall damage, we go together pretty well. But as far as like the flight, once you transform, and the lock-on system, which is just absolutely atrocious, once you get used to it, it's not the worst. But I also feel like I won't necessarily get used to it, you know, when the game drops and stuff like that. So we'll just see how that's gonna go. Games coming out in 2022, I assume it's probably sometime in the first or second quarter, because usually whenever they announce a game, it comes out within 6 months of the announcement. And I just want to see where this game goes. Me and my friends definitely plan on playing it a lot, especially on stream. It is definitely a stream title. Video-wise, you might see a video here and there depending on what kind of events they do around the game. But stream-wise, this is going to be one of those perfect stream games that we might just like pop into once every so often, maybe like once or twice a month. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's everything. So again, if you played or saw the gameplay, let me know your initial thoughts. Are you excited, not excited? And I guess let's see where you guys stand. But for now, like I said, I'm excited. There's a lot of potential, and I want to see where this is going to go and what kind of other future games we'll get over the course of the next couple years in the Dragon Ball genre. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Peace.